So, what we're doing here is we're working on another distinction, and the distinction is size. This is tape 2 of our size explorations, and we're determining if, in fact, size makes a difference. And I think it's fairly safe to conclude that we've determined that, in fact, size does matter and makes a significant difference in all kinds of different domains of our lives. And so we want to really leave no stone unturned with this one. So if I have a small penis, does this make me unlovable? Well, there are plenty of female pedophiles who really enjoy small penises. Plenty of male pedophiles who enjoy small penises too. And plenty of children who enjoy small penises. So a small penis makes a difference. I mean, it's a small penis. But like I don't have great hair, and some guys have got great hair. Not a whit in their fucking skull, but fucking hair worth millions. You know, like most people notice their deficiencies more than others, and oftentimes what we view as deficiencies, others view as advantages. So the size of my deficiencies in my own mind would make a difference with regard to my enjoyment of my sensuality, my sexuality, my emotional vitality, and my spiritual inclination. Can we see this? So if size matters, what does this mean? Well, what it means is that it's useful for me to notice things that affect me, you know, and my own preferences. You know, like as I mentioned in tape 1, you know, I have made love with skinny girls, and I have made love with boys too, and about 7 to 10 boys, maybe 100 sexual experiences all told. And with women, there's about 200 different women and probably 10 or 20,000 instances of sexual vitality thus far. Have found expression in our home, our bed, our person, our concern, our area of influence and reference. So, if I'm a man and I am seeking the offices of a female to love me, can we see that there might be some preparation that would be useful for me to engage in? Like if I cannot inspire myself to adoration, to deep prayer, to worship, to wonder, to taste the poetry of the gods. I mean, if I don't have much of that, like if the size of my wonder isn't very big, then it really doesn't matter how big my penis is, does it? I mean, who wants a belligerent anything in place of love, in place of adoration? Who wants courtesy kisses? Who wants hollow applause? Who wants their heart broken on pretense and illusion? problem with breaking your heart there is there's no dividend. There's no profit forthcoming from the offices of a fraudulent heart or a depraved heart of any description, of any ilk, for any reason whatsoever. If I bring a depraved heart to any encounter, it's going to diminish me first. By virtue of the fact of choosing to do this, robs me of altitude and size. And we've determined that size matters. And so, I can't do nothing about the size of my penis. Maybe I can take some herbs and get it to grow like they say on the internet. You know, I never tried that. I mean, they even told me it's guaranteed. Guaranteed to increase your penis length by 4 inches or 2 inches or whatever it was. And I'm thinking, you know, now what do I do if it doesn't work? I mean, do I take my penis to a court of law and slap it down on the table, call it Exhibit A, and say, you know, here's a picture of my penis the day before I purchased your ingredient, and here it is today. It's in fact 3/4 of a centimeter smaller. I want my money back. And getting a judge to fine for me in this scenario, I think, would be a tough exercise, even in the United States of America, where jurisprudence has been on a fucking belligerence drunk and a cocaine toot for the last 500 fucking years, it looks like, but the truth is it's only been around the last 30, 40 or so. At one time, jurisprudence was embarrassable. And she took care that her crinoline wasn't showing, particularly on Monday mornings, and now she got the fucking legs spread all over the goddamn place, willing to take it up the ass for anybody who's got a few shekels in their pocket and a handy tub of Vaseline handy. It's like she don't give no fuck who she flirts with no more, and that's not very big-hearted of her. Can we say this? That posture is uninspiring to her customers, basically, who, as we have already been told, don't matter all that much. There's a pretense that it does. I mean, we can't have people going around raping little girls and stuff. I mean, Jesus Christ Almighty, what kind of a people would we be if we allowed that to happen? We gotta put those suckers in jail rather than discovering how we make the fucking suckers to start with. Like, you know, this is fairly new. This lack of trust, like this pathetic, congregational choir, trustless choir, is regurgitating its syllables and sounds all over this fucking planet today. To no avail, not even to herself. No profit, no gain, no juice, just misery and loss. But there is a kind of joy in creating misery and loss for others, even for myself, is there not? I mean, beyond the masochists that we have in the room, the psychic masochists, and the psychotic, and even the marginally disoriented, like the psychopaths in our company, to ignore the size of my own executioner's hard-on, to ignore jurisprudence when she shows herself to be the tartan of floozy she is, to ignore the failures of my kings to even step up to the plate of rule, bringing nobility with me, is rare, and it shouldn't be. The size of my intention, the size of my honest, good intentions would make a difference, wouldn't The size of my bullshit counts for sure. I mean, fuck. That's a pain in the ass even to me. So size matters there too. How about the size of my crimes? I'm already a homicidal pervert by the age of 3, according to Sigmund Freud and every psychiatrist since. There's been nobody that's disputed this in the psychiatric community to the best of our lights. And so, while this individual is sitting there humoring you for an hour or half an hour, whatever the case may be, you didn't understand that underneath that, he's looking at you from this posture. This individual is sick and twisted beyond his own ability to even see or acknowledge or get a grip or grasp this perversion that's resident in using him. Now, how can I get this individual to fit more comfortably into his own skin, inside the sickening paradigm within which he lives? And this is the mandate of psychiatry as currently practiced on planet Earth. There is really no question of what is real and what is true. Like jurisprudence, psychiatry practices expediency and before her promise. Now, for the Western man, the psychiatrist is pretty much like the Pope used to be, the authority on what's rational to deduce and what isn't. And rather than priests today, in large parts of the world, we have police functioning as social mediaries, social fonts of blessing. Chalice in one hand, a taser in the other, and a hard-on in between, and you got yourself a pretty good case of a juristic clap. Now, to whose advantage is it for jurisprudence to have the clap? Well, not me, that's for sure, but it's got to be somebody. Somebody's getting some juice out of this. Now, who might it be? Now, beyond the illustrations that good friends of ours like Charles Dickens have blessed us with, like for instance in his work Bleak House, there's a 300-year-old law case. It's continually ongoing, but is coming to a close more recently now that the assets are liquidated and the inheritors are uninterested. Their case is finding resolution. Now, this is in 17th century England, where primogeniture and other such niceties were formulated by Christian kings. Now, if you look at the reality of the vitality of women in Islam for 1,500 years versus the vitality of women under Christianity, you'll find a marked difference. With the exception of Queen Elizabeth in England, there's really been no woman that's been empowered to think for herself in the annals of human history prior to fairly recently. In Canada, 1965, 1970, a woman could not get a bank account without her husband's permission. In the 1960s, it was cause for corporate, fiscal, and juristic shunning for a separated female to be in the presence of any male where time and opportunity for intercourse could happen. It was considered to have occurred. So time and opportunity constituted fact under jurisprudential lights in Toronto, Canada in the 1960s. This is fact. Well rehearsed, well grounded, well thought out application of equitable jurisprudence in the minds of our Illuminati and other quivering size of our once virile cognitive wit. Now, so the size of my cognitive wit might help me get lucky. Can we say this? Like, it might help get my little penis into something warm and juicy and grateful. And grateful. Like, how many men today know what it is to have a grateful woman in their life? A woman that you're making scream in ecstasy at least once a day. Preferably 2 or 3 times a day. That's what women want. Women don't want to talk with you. Well, they do, but that's not really what they want. They got their girlfriends for that. A woman wants her man to blow her mind sexually. She wants him to blow her mind with his own integrity and his vision, and inspire her to seek the altitude he's already realized in herself. And to keep her busy doing that is his job. That's how you satisfy a woman. Then you start concerning yourself with the size of your dick. You know, you got a woman with a pussy as big as all outdoors and you got a little penis. You might need to get yourself another woman, or get yourself some of that herbal penis grow stuff. Whatever you choose. Whatever you choose. Remember, the size of the want, your want for her and her want for you, is what's going to fan the flames of success for you in marriage, in love, in social intercourse, and in just hanging out together. Humankind today is desperately lonely, and it's perverting you and twisting the fragile substance of your psyches, your emotions, your spirits, and your bodies, your minds, paralyzing you with grief and fear and stupidity and vacuous hungers that can never be satiated. The size of your wit today leaves this sized queen a little thirsty. The size of your honor today is embarrassing personally to me and your mother. And our boss. And I don't have the luxury of coming up with stories that are just as good as the result. I need you to get this big in your hearts and your heads, your bodies, your minds, your emotions and spirits. You're wanted at home. It's time. You always knew this day would come. Somewhere, somehow, deep in your bones, you knew someday the jig was going to be up. Been told about it, and today's the day. You're probably, if you're like me, you're probably a little scared, a little anxious, and a little concerned that you don't fuck this up. And those are good concerns to have. Because, and let me share with you on this little reality, it's contrasting with the big one. If we fail at this during this next little period of time, we lose everything. We lose it all. This is how the gods play. At some time or other, with every created being, it becomes an all or nothing proposition. We've had dress rehearsal for thousands of years. Give us Barabbas was our last claim to fame, our last big claim to fame, you recall? Moreover, since we've chosen that, we've also decided in our infinite wisdom to boot fuck the gods up the ass, just like Jimmy and Mr. Fraser, so well noted for, so famous for. No gods wanted here. According to Carl Sagan, they're unnecessary, and according to Richard Dawkins, they're stupid, basically. I don't think he goes quite that far, but that wouldn't be a difficult inference to draw from his assertions. And these two gentlemen are the cream of the atheist flower that the world has to offer today, from what I'm led to believe. I really haven't devoted all that much time to the study of this idiom, but this is what I'm heartily endorsed to conclude, and I'll go for it. It's not that big a deal to me. So, why is this smart? Have you got any idea? Because I don't. And I have been looking for a long time to find one. I hope to God you're smarter than me, that your smarts are bigger than mine. Because if they're not, I'm scared we're in real big trouble. Sheesh. Size matters. What the fuck,